Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks by.
Huh? Come again? Hold on, I'm trying to get the screen situated.
The entire island isn't covered in ash, you know. They have huge ice fields up north, and it's freezing up there. Damn ash.
Dude, I'm here. Check it. We're so oh fuck. Okay, sorry if you heard that. And apologies for the language. It's gonna be quite challenging to check myself when it comes to the language. So, there we go. My favorite game. Truly. So the volume. Let's see. There we go. So, what's up? Welcome. Welcome to the chill circuit. Because, believe it or not, sometimes you gotta chill and not be playing so much guitar all the time. Sometimes you need to take a break, so to speak. And, you know, just chill. You guys can see me, moderately struggle at this game at times, I'm sure. Everybody plays this stuff in a different way, right?
From ourselves.
Some psychos are like... Hold
He
on.
grows ever near to us.
Our eyes once were
Some psychos are just like, let me just... Oh, okay, like that. That was an accident. That was an accident. And now we need to go for it. Go didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna reload this. So, why did I do that? Why did I do that? How about this? That was an accident. I was trying to make a point about not attacking people, but I ended up attacking that person. Pretty embarrassing. So where is this? Why can I leave? Temple of Mirak, Beast Stone, Skull Village, Moe's Ring, Sea Rings Watch. So I've been getting my butt kicked at this game. A little bit. Like, a lot lately. Probably because I haven't been taking it seriously, so to speak. But, yeah. Feels like I'm right here with them. Feels like I'm right here. Okay, I fell. Feels like I'm right here. Feels like I'm in Skyrim. I like this game. I really like this game. You can tell. I mean, they put a lot of detail into it. They didn't really, you know, and some people will be like, the original Oblivion is probably their favored title, but it's all about what era you grew up in. So, in my case, my peak video game guy lifestyle, I was probably, trying to play this. It was 11th grade. I didn't do very much other than this game. But that was a different era. It was a different time. Who knows? Maybe my severe lack of effort was actually somebody's best try, best effort. Couldn't tell you. One thing is for sure, I have not been... You know how these games, the biggest thing with these games is that they don't force you to play the story. Like they'll just let you go. Okay? You have every right to ditch the first quest if you want to. Which is pretty neat. But what that also means is that I've just gone and done so much random stuff that I am now trying to figure out how to actually do the main quests. Like, they're basically telling me I have to read this. Avelstein Greymane believes his brother Thorald has been taken prisoner, and that the Battleborns of Whiterun have proof. I need to find it and bring to Avelstein. Did they mean bring it to Avelstein? Did they mean that? I was make sure this looks fine, yeah. I think that's what they meant. Bring it to Avelstein. Find evidence of Thorald's fate. I remember this quest. This is fucking annoying. Frickin' annoying. This was so annoying. Now, it's a good exercise to not curse so much. So I would agree with anybody who says don't curse so much. I won't. I absolutely won't. I'm not completely unreasonable. So, I don't want to do this quest. Running through all of them, I'm like, I don't want to do any of these. Hence my problem. A group of men calling themselves the Alikur are looking for a Redguard woman in Whiterun. Find the Redguard woman. Can't turn it down. So, what? Okay, so one thing I like to do is ignore the fast travel. So where are we? Whiterun? Is that what it said? Whiterun? Let's go. Winterhold, Dawnstar, Hi Hrothgar. Anybody? Hi Hrothgar. Whiterun? Whiterun? How do I find it, man? Paladin. Pine Rock. Pine Peak. Hunting Brew. Whiterun. Dragon's Reach. There it is. Oh, okay. Alright. Much like shooting the arrow at that poor woman. Instead of following my own path and not fast traveling, I just decided to play this game like I used to play things and just speed through them for some reason. Like, there's never going to be another moment to play a game again. And so, even what I'm doing right now, right? Like, I'm waiting. I'm using the wait feature because I want to go to the shop. But that's just like a compulsion of mine when it comes to these games. So, somebody could be like, it's not that deep, you're just playing a game. Which is true, you are just playing a game. However, when the games let you decide what kind of person you're going to be in the game, it also then, to this level of settings, it allows you to choose what everything you do down to whether you want to wait with the feature or go busy yourself till you can logically go open the shop or go to the shop. Now in this case I'm lazy, so I did like a trifecta. I went and fast traveled, which is not realistic. None of this is realistic. And then I also decided to use the wait feature. It's not like you can't play without this stuff. I just mean like I want to actually try to play the game. So this is Avenici.
You're someone who can get things done. I like that.
Ooh, what?
Plenty. I'd say we're prosperous enough. Most folk don't go hungry. The city's ruled by the Jarl up in Dragon's Reach. That's the fortress there, up on the tall hill. But you're probably more interested in your Vasker, Mead Hall of the Companions. Their deeds of war and valor are legendary.
Legendary, you say?
Plenty.
Okay.
I'd say we're
No,
prosperous
don't
enough.
give me the spiel
Most
again.
folk don't go hungry.
Don't do it.
They're willing to work hard.
That's not what I was asking
Got
for.
some good pieces out
One of my biggest problems in this game is the carry weight. It seems that no matter how freaking hard I try, I'm at the mercy of the carry weight every time, and I become over encumbered and cannot move or cannot fast travel. It's not just fast travel though. You can't even run. You're stuck walking. Which I suppose is also very realistic when you put it all together. Isn't that lovely? So, you could see that this guy, my character, before I shoot fire in the town square on accident, should put his fire away. Okay, there you go. He has.
I work with my mother.
Okay.
Sell fruits and vegetables. It's
I don't
fun
think this
most
kid
days.
realizes that I'm trying to do a fit check. So, he's got this terrifying dwarven helmet. Okay. Now, one thing about this guy is that he does not match for the life of him. He does not match his clothes. He's actually standing in the town square, and people are crowding around him.
What are
Nazim,
you looking at?
come here,
I'm
Nazim.
not afraid of you, you know, even
Hey,
if you are
Nazim.
my elder.
Oh, it took... I actually advise the Jarl on political matters. My input is invaluable, of course. But this is all probably a bit over your head.
Why is he such a pompous... I can't think of the word, but dude, I bite my thumb at you, my good sir. Nazim,
Speak.
you Moor? You dare question me more?
Need
Draw your weapon. Okay, alright. Look, you do stupid things and stupid things happen. In life, you don't get a redo button. You don't get to call somebody a Moor and then start doing what I just did. I need to wait so I can load my save. No, okay. I know I said I was like a hat trick or a trifecta earlier. That would be the trifecta. He said something sideways to me about, I don't even know what he said. But then I got carried away and started doing this whole like conquistador roleplay thing, and then I just said, okay, draw your weapon, you Moor. And then he, you know, I set him on fire. So we're gonna not do that again. We're not gonna do that. So I'm on quite a bad streak here. Streak of evil. Oh, that's right. This guy turned into a vampire as well, so he does not like the sunlight. And what? Okay, so we were in the middle of a fit check before the child and the gentleman who works for the government interrupted so rudely. But I was in the middle of saying that this guy has no matching. He has no drip. He has no match potential. He has a helmet for the door, like the dwarven helmet, which is very strong. He has dwarven arm stuff. Okay, he has steel chest armor, and then he has dwarven boots.
Good to have you by my side, friend. I need reliable people around.
Wait, what? Do we know each other?
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Never is.
There's a nip in the air and cold will not be good for his crops. Never is. What did he mean by that? Listen, this is why you can't just stand in the middle of the town square, because people will come up to you and start pontificating on you with things that you could not possibly answer. Now, if that other dude shows up again, then I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move from him. Remove myself from the situation before it escalates.
I work for Bellathor at the general goods store.
Alright, I gotta figure out my purpose here. We are looking for somebody. We're finding the Red Guard woman. A Red Guard is a race in this game. Find the Red Guard woman. I'm pretty sure the guy that I had this like scuffle with just now, when I said I bite my thumb at him and I said draw your weapon, you more, that guy, I think he is also of the Red Guard persuasion, if you know what I'm saying. So let's go find the Red Guard woman. And I guarantee we'll get distracted along the way. I promise you that. A group of men called the Alikir are looking for a Red Guard woman. Now, spoiler alert, I remember this quest, so
Wait,
we're looking for some dudes with some hoods on their heads. You thought I was kidding. You thought I was being extra funny about that whole Moors comment. Did you think so? Because I'm not. It's historically and presently accurate. I should probably put the flames away, am I right?
Owning a farm doesn't...
You know, I saw
Where
something
do
near
we
Shimon's
find
cave to the northeast?
the Red Guard woman? Now, tip for life, not just the game. You want to find information?
Local favorite and
You got to go to the pub. Now, it's 10:31 a.m. in Skyrim. So I don't think the people with the information are going to be in here. And this guy, he's not even performing in prime time. It's 10:31. No one is here to listen to him. What kind of information am I going to get? Sinmir. This guy looks like the actual poster boy for Skyrim. Like before you buy your plane ticket for Skyrim, you see this guy on the pamphlet.
The security in White One is terrible. Shameful is what it is.
No, the security is top notch. I had an altercation with somebody earlier, and they were on me so quickly. My wanted star went to 10. We had the level. The tanks, they sent tanks after me immediately. This person will know what's up. Hold up.
Like those ice you got.
There's a bad
What do
hunger
you
for
have for sale? Where can I learn about magic? This guy already knows magic.
Need anything else? Just
Okay.
let me know.
Earthgird the Unbroken.
Want to hear a little Nord wisdom? You don't really know a woman till you had a strong drink and a fist fight with her.
Listen, I didn't ask about that. I didn't even ask anything. Sounds like you've got a grudge.
You've been talking to those companions? Too hot-headed, they cried. Weak, pathetic cowards, the lot of them.
Hot-headed, is that a hair joke? We making hair comments? Why'd the companions reject you?
It wasn't my fault. I told them over and over that it was an accident. They wanted me to prove my worth. So they threw me up against a young whelp of a lad, hardly old enough to grow his first chin hairs.
A young
I
whelp
guess
of
I
a
thought
lad.
a woman wasn't strong enough to hurt him. I didn't mean for him to die. Why would I want that? I just lost control.
So, can we have like a feminist side mission here?
The heat of the battle is the fire that forges the strongest blades. It's an old Nord proverb.
Wow.
That, and a true Nord never misses a chance to test her worth.
Wow.
And why not? I could beat anyone in this city, barehanded. 100 gold says I knock your hide to the ground.
Chad, should I brawl her for 100? Let's do it.
Just fists. No weapons, no magic.
I can't guarantee
no
that.
crying.
You should have
Let's
seen me
go.
outside with that guy, that person.
Come on.
Okay. Well, no. We can't fight here. I thought we were going outside.
Somebody help!
No. It's not somebody help. We are having a spirited fight. Got you. Somebody else better not get in the way. That would be uber not. See, this person's just gonna get hit because they're a stupid NPC, and they need to back off because this is a moderated fight. She asked for it. I actually paid 100 gold and agreed to have this. Okay, all right. I got no stamina. No magic, no potions, right? I got no stamina. I'm just gonna have to hit her.
Do your worst.
This is not recommended, by the way. Get back, lady. Get back, lady. These people, they're such vultures. They're crowding around me like, for what? For what? Alright. Chill. Okay. Chill. She's gonna knock me out. Chill. I don't have stamina. Look, the guy with the giant axe is gonna get in the way, and then he's gonna be like, "You've crossed the line." He's gonna attack me. Alright. 100 gold is riding. Okay. I don't necessarily advise ever doing this, obviously. I also wouldn't recommend going into the tavern and then looking for information about your bounty and then starting a conversation with a redheaded woman who seems to have freaking, inferiority complex, decided that she wanted to take on the world. But I guess my guy was the one who said, "Don't you want to fight me for 100 gold?" Alright. You're done. You're finished. You're done. It's finished. Okay, chill.
That's what I call a punch. You got me.
Are we done?
You're no liar. Best fight I've had in years. There you are. If you ever need another blade at your side, just ask. I wouldn't mind seeing how you handle a few trolls.
Okay. I think we just made a friend.
You're someone who can get things done.
Follow me. I need your help. Can we attack
Good.
The
Chat
dragons
time's over.
together. Can we look for the red guard wall? Okay, I guess this person is just gonna be here forever. Cool, man. Cool.
Security in
So
White
can we
One
do the
is
same thing with
terrible.
this guy? Can we just start
Guards in the
whooping
city are
on him and
lazy
he just
and
becomes our friend too?
undisciplined. Things need to
It's kind of like
change.
how anime works, right? They're enemies and then they hit each other in the face a couple
This
bit,
is
like a couple
local
times, and
favorite
then
one of the first
everybody's
songs
cool.
I ever learned. Ragnar the Red.
respect gained.
Oh, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who came
But we are
riding to
looking for a
Whiterun
red
for
guard
war
woman,
instead.
y'all.
If it's a lady you're looking for, you best look elsewhere. Once Mikhail gets them, they're got.
The thing that I'm looking for happens to be with this person. You need to leave Carlotta Valentina alone.
Carlotta put you up to this, didn't she? I'm sorry, but that fiery widow is mine. She just doesn't know it yet.
Excuse me. Wait, I wanted to know how he learned his guitar. Did he learn from the skill circuit, perhaps? Leave her alone, or else. Maybe we can 362 gold. Persuade, intimidate. I don't know if he just saw me absolutely wail on that Brienne of Tarth earlier, but what's going on? What should I do? Fine, forget I asked. Should I wait for him to leave or something and then collect information from him later? I mean, the real world is we can come to an understanding and then you exchange the gold and then so on and so forth, right? What would I do in real life? Intimidate.
Whoa, hey there. I didn't mean to make you upset. On my honor, Carlotta won't have to worry about me again.
What can I say? Very convincing. Too convincing. Way too convincing for my own good. Where'd you learn to play, son? The skill
There's a whole college
circuit.
up in Solitude where they teach the arts. Song, lute playing, poetry. I
Are
studied
they-
there myself.
They seem to have stolen my business idea. We need to go to the
Misunderstanding with the headmistress.
Bard College in Solitude. What did he say?
Misunderstanding with her husband.
Can I make a request?
Sure. What can I do for you?
Yeah, can we play Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day? Can you take a break?
Sure. My voice could use a rest.
What, because it's my turn? Am I up next? So what did that did not really, I didn't get anything out of that. I didn't get anything out of that.
The security in Whiterun is
I don't
terrible.
even know. Okay,
Shameful
so
is what-
Need
Sadia. Do you know some Alakir warriors?
Are you sure? Oh no. They found me? I need your help, please.
Again?
Come with me. I need to speak to you privately.
Her name is
Come with
Sadia.
me.
Okay, Sadia, let's speak privately.
Please, we need to speak in private.
This is pure business.
Please, we need to speak in private.
Okay. All right, lady. So, privately is what? Up here?
So, are you working with them?
Okay.
You think you can take...
All right. So, why can't I just have a normal interaction with anybody? Why is it that I'm like, oh yeah, let's go get this information. And then it's like, shing!
me? You so much as touch me and you're going to lose fingers.
Okay, calm down.
Yes? So the Alakir know where I am? What do they offer you? Gold? How many more of them are coming? Tell me.
I am not one of those Moors, lady. Put that down before you get hurt. That's a very manosphere answer.
You can't tell them. Please, I need your help, and there isn't anyone I can trust here in the city.
Maybe what do you want? Perhaps if there's money in it. Well, I've been on a hot streak. I got 100 gold. So why are there people speaking foreign tongues outside on their walks? Sorry, that's a real life comment. That's not a Skyrim comment. What was I doing here? Okay, yeah. So I won 100 gold beating up Brienne of Tarth successfully. Now, this person is offering more money. But I'm not going to be greedy. I'm going to be a normal human being about this.
I am not the person that the people of Whiterun think I am. My real name is Eamon. I am a noble of House Suda in Hammerfell. The men who are looking for me, the Alakir, they are assassins in the employ of the Almeri Dominion.
This seems like
They wish
June.
to
It's
exchange
June,
my blood
innit?
for gold. I need you to root them out and drive them away before they find me and drag me back to Hammerfell for an execution.
What level are they? Because I've been struggling against various enemies in this game. How am I supposed to get rid of them? What
They're
level are they?
mercenaries, only in it for the money. They're led by a man named Kamatu. Get rid of him, and the rest will scatter. I
Kimatu.
don't dare
Yeah.
show my face, lest they recognize me. So you'll have to find out where they are.
Yeah. It should be fine. Alright, you guys can stew on Kamatu for a second. Let's just
I heard one of them was just arrested trying to sneak into the city.
let's just leave that alone.
Locked up in the jail.
Why don't we pause for a
Get it out
second?
of
Why
him.
don't you chill?
Please, I know I'm asking you to do something difficult, maybe even dangerous. I just don't know who else I can trust.
goes the begging today, Brenuin?
That's right. Mock the town beggar like everyone else. But I've got a right to browse, don't I? I ain't hurting anyone.
Make it quick, then. I don't want your stink driving my customers away.
The gods smile on them who show charity. Best you remember that.
Did you raise your prices, Carlotta?
I had to. The farmers are charging me double for the produce I sell.
Let me guess. They're saying it's because of this trouble with the Stormcloaks?
Exactly. Road patrols were cut in half because the Jarl needed soldiers. Now the bandits are bolder than ever. They've been raiding the farms for food, and supplies are scarcer than ever. Maybe I should sell swords and armor instead.
Maybe. But they wouldn't taste as good as a loaf of fresh-baked pumpernickel.
Dude, it got so dark.
influence our everyday common sense, our fundamental notions about what life is about. Ideas of the world which are built into the very nature of the language we use and of our ideas of logic and of what makes sense altogether. And these basic ideas I call myth, not using the word myth to mean simply something untrue, but to use the word myth in a more powerful sense. A myth is an image in terms of which we try to make sense of the world. We have this hostility to the external world because of the superstition, the myth, the absolutely unfounded theory that you yourself exist only inside your skin. Now, I want to propose another idea altogether. If you think that you are only inside your skin, you define yourself as one very complicated little curlicue, way out in space and way out in time. Billions of years ago, you were a big bang. But now you're a complicated human being. But so we define ourselves as being only that. And then we cut ourselves off and don't feel that we're still the Big Bang. But you are. Depends how you define yourself. You are the Big Bang, the original force of the universe, coming on as whoever you are. See, when I meet you, I see not just what you define yourself as, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. I see every one of you as the primordial energy of the universe coming on at me in this particular way. I know I'm that too. But we've learned to define ourselves as separate from it. You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. The ocean waves, and the universe peoples. And as the wave, I wave at you and say, you! The world is waving at me with you and saying, hi, I'm here. But the way we feel and sense our existence, being based on a myth that we are made, that we are parts, that we are things, our consciousness has been influenced so that each one of us does not feel that. We feel we have been hypnotized, literally hypnotized, by social convention into feeling and sensing that we exist only inside our skins, that we are not the original bang, but just something out on the end of it. And therefore we are scared stiff. Because my wave is going to disappear. And I'm going to die. And that would be awful. You are a fluke. You are a separate event. And you run from the maternity ward to the crematorium, and that's it, baby. Now, why does anybody think that way? There's no reason to, because it isn't even scientific. It's just a myth. If there is any such thing at all as intelligence and love and beauty, well, you found it in other people. In other words, it exists in us as human beings. And as I said, if it is there in us, it is symptomatic of the scheme of things. We are as symptomatic of the scheme of things as the apples are symptomatic of the apple tree or the rose of the rose bush. When, as a scientist, you describe the behavior of a living organism, you try to say what a person does. It's the only way in which you can describe what a person is. Describe what they do. Then you find out that in making this description, you cannot confine yourself to what happens inside the skin. So if that is necessary, if, in other words, in order to describe my behavior, I have to describe your behavior and the behavior of the environment, it means that we've really got one system of behavior. That what I am involves what you are. I don't know who I am unless I know who you are. And you don't know who you are unless you know who I am. In other words, we're not separate. We and our environment, and all of us and each other, are interdependent systems. We know who we are in terms of other people. We all lock together. And any good scientist knows that what you call the external world is as much you as your own body. But the problem is, you see, we haven't been taught to feel that way. The myths underlying our culture and underlying our common sense have not taught us to feel identical with the universe, but only parts of it, only in it, only confronting it, aliens. And we are, I think, quite urgently in need of coming to feel that we are the eternal universe, each one of us. Otherwise, we're going to go out of our heads. You see, the problem is this. We identify in our experience a differentiation between what we do and what happens to us. We have a certain number of actions that we define as voluntary, and we feel in control of those. And then over against that, there is all those things that are involuntary. But the dividing line between these two is very arbitrary. Because, for example, when you move your hand, you feel that you decide whether to open it or to close it. But then ask yourself, how do you decide? When you decide to open your hand, do you first decide to decide? You don't, do you? You just decide, and how do you do that? And if you don't know how you do it, is it voluntary or involuntary? Let's consider breathing. You can feel that you breathe deliberately. You can control your breath. But when you don't think about it, it goes on. Is it voluntary or involuntary? And so we come to have a very arbitrary definition of self. That much of my activity which I feel I do. And that then doesn't include breathing most of the time. It doesn't include the heartbeats. It doesn't include the activity of the glands. It doesn't include digestion. It doesn't include how you shape your bones, circulate your blood. Do you or do you not do these things? Now, if you get with yourself and you find out that you are all of yourself, a very strange thing happens. You find that your body knows that you are one with the universe. In other words, that the so-called involuntary circulation of your blood is one continuous process with the stars shining. If you find out that it's you who circulates your blood, you will at the same moment find out that you are shining the sun. Because your physical organism is one continuous process with everything else that's going on. Just as the waves are continuous with the ocean, your body is continuous with the total energy system of the cosmos. And it's all you. Only you're playing the game that you're only this bit of it. But as I tried to explain, there are in physical reality no such things as separate events. Doesn't it really astonish you that you are this fantastically complex thing? And that you're doing all of this and you never had any education in how to do it? You never learned, but you're this miracle? Well, the point is that from a strictly physical, scientific standpoint, this organism is a continuous energy with everything else that's going on. And if I am my foot, I am the sun. Only we've got this little partial view. We've got the idea that, no, I'm just something in this body, the ego. That's a joke. The ego is nothing other than the focus of conscious attention. It's like a radar on a ship. The radar on a ship is a troubleshooter. Is there anything in the way? And conscious attention is a designed function of the brain to scan the environment, like a radar does, and note for any trouble-making changes. But if you identify yourself with your troubleshooter, then naturally you define yourself as being in a perpetual state of anxiety. And the moment we cease to identify with the ego and become aware that we are the whole organism, you realize as the first thing how harmonious it all is. Because your organism is a miracle of harmony. All this thing functioning together. Even those corpuscles and creatures that are fighting each other in the bloodstream and eating each other up. If they weren't doing that, you wouldn't be healthy. So what is discord at one level of your being is harmony at a higher level. And you begin to realize that, and you begin to be aware, too, that the discords of your life and the discords of people's life, which are a fight at one level, at a higher level of the universe, are healthy and harmonious. And you suddenly realize that everything that you are and do is at that level as magnificent and as free of any blemish as the patterns in waves, the markings in marble, the way a cat moves, and that this world is really okay and can't be anything else, because otherwise it couldn't exist. So then, if you awaken from this illusion, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. So in this idea, then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
Thanks for watching this episode. I truly believe we humans are Once upon a time, there was a young prince who was born into a royal palace of countless riches. He wanted a soulmate, so a woman of his exact specifications was delivered to him. He wanted to be admired, so everyone in the kingdom was ordered to sing songs about him. He wanted to be wise, so he had every book rebranded to show him as the author. The prince got everything he wanted, and lived out his days with a high and mighty sense of pride. Everyone showered him with praise, and he lived happily ever after. The end. How did this story make you feel? Did you find yourself rooting for the prince? If you are a fan of myths and legends, then this story probably feels incomplete. There's no character development, no plot, no setup and payoff, no lesson is learned, and therefore it's not really a story at all. Because the essence of story lies in transformation. It's not about the destination, it's about the experience of the journey. It's not about getting the reward, it's about becoming the person worthy of receiving the reward. As we transform, the world around us transforms. There is a mysterious order to the universe, where every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Everything given must be earned, and everything taken has a price to pay. Some call this order karma, or fate, or divine balance, or cosmic justice. No story illustrates this idea better than The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's one of the most beautiful books ever written, and one I find myself returning to often. If you haven't read it and plan on doing so, you may want to skip this section. There will be spoilers. The Alchemist begins with a young shepherd boy wandering the Spanish countryside and living a carefree existence. He sleeps in an abandoned church and watches the stars through a hole in the roof. His days are peaceful and comfortable. His only concerns are food, wine, and his sheep. One night, the boy has a profound dream about finding treasure by the Egyptian pyramids. He tries to dismiss the dream as having no meaning, but the universe has other plans for him. The language of the universe speaks to the boy in the form of signs, symbols, déjà vu, and synchronicities, otherwise known as omens. These omens reveal to the boy that the treasure in his dream is indeed real. So the boy sells his sheep and embarks on the long, dangerous journey to Egypt. He crosses the ocean to Morocco and is immediately tricked and robbed of what little gold he has. His quest is off to a terrible start, but with no money to return to Spain, he is stranded in a foreign land. He finds refuge in a small crystal shop and offers to clean glasses in exchange for food. The crystal shop is failing to bring in customers and make profit, but the boy's enthusiastic spirit changes things. Over the next year, he learns Arabic and turns the crystal shop into a thriving business. The boy is making good money and gets comfortable, but the omens tell him it's time to move towards the Egyptian pyramids to find his ultimate treasure and fulfill his destiny. So he says goodbye to the crystal shop and begins the treacherous trek across the Sahara. The heat is blistering, the winds are wicked, and to add further danger, there is a tribal war happening all around him. The boy manages to make it to an oasis, a lush green safe haven where he receives a warm welcome. But shortly after, he has another prophetic dream about the oasis being attacked. He warns the people of the oasis, and the very next day, the oasis is attacked by a band of dishonorable tribal warriors. Because of the boy's warning, no one in the oasis is harmed, and the attackers are all killed. The people of the oasis celebrate the boy, and he is offered a position of power. He also meets a girl, Fatima, and falls deeply in love with her. Once again, the boy gets comfortable. With money, love, and status, he could stay in the oasis and have a great life, but the omens tell him he must carry on to the pyramids to find his treasure. This is when the boy links up with the alchemist, who serves as the boy's guide on the final leg of his journey. The alchemist teaches the boy how to tap into his heart, decipher the omens, and speak to the soul of the world. The alchemist tells him that every search begins with beginner's luck, and every search ends with the victors being severely tested. There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. Eventually, they travel deep into the tribal war zone and find themselves caught in the middle. The alchemist and the boy are captured, their gold is taken, and they are sentenced to death. However, the alchemist tells their captors that the boy possesses special abilities and can transform himself into the wind. He is given 3 days to perform this miracle. The boy is terrified because he has no idea how he's going to turn himself into the wind. But when the time comes, he is able to speak with the soul of the world and see that everything in the universe is one. A mighty sandstorm blows in, sweeping the boy away and astonishing his captors, so they release him. Finally, he makes it to the pyramids and sees an omen, the scarab beetle, which shows him where the treasure is buried. He begins to dig, but some Arabs see what he's doing and start beating him, demanding to know why he's there. With some of his last breaths, he confesses that he had a dream that there was treasure buried by the pyramids. The leader of the Arabs laughs at the boy for being so stupid as to cross the world because of a silly dream. The leader tells the men to stop beating the boy and move on. But just before he leaves, he turns to the boy and says that he once had a dream about treasure being buried in Spain at an abandoned church with a hole in the ceiling. But this was only a silly dream. Lying in a puddle of his own blood, the boy is filled with content and laughs at the irony of it all. The universe truly does speak in mysterious ways. He had to go on this massive adventure, crossing the Sahara and nearly dying on several occasions, just to learn that the treasure was right under his feet from where he began. And that's pretty much the end. So why did the story have to unfold like this? Why couldn't the omens just tell the boy that the treasure was there from the start? Why did he have to travel great distances and fight for his life just to return to where he began? Well, this is simply because the journey was never about the treasure. The journey was about becoming who he was meant to be. As Paulo Coelho writes, the reward for our work is not what we get, but who we become. The boy left home as a sheep-like wanderer and returned a wise man. Each time he got comfortable along his journey, the universe invited him to step into the unknown, and each time he did, he was rewarded with something greater. His ultimate reward was the person he became. A man who knew himself on the deepest level, with unshakable faith and the ability to communicate with the soul of the world. He gained a sense of inner peace, which is something no amount of money can buy. It is the privilege of a lifetime to become who you really are. In the end, the boy returned to Spain and found a chest of gold buried under the church, but the treasure would have had an entirely different meaning if he discovered it without the journey. We must be careful of anything that is given to us for free. Everything that we get comes with a price. You can pay before or after. Any profound insights or wealth gained without the requisite personal development will be destabilizing or harmful. As Carl Jung famously said, beware of unearned wisdom, which is knowledge that arrives without the inner work, discipline, or maturity needed to hold it. In this context, Carl Jung was warning about psychedelics and the potential for people to use them as a shortcut to enlightenment. Psychedelics are a wonderful tool for exploration, but doing psychedelics does not make one enlightened or truly wise. Without proper grounding, it can lead to mental illness or an inflated ego. Unearned wisdom is like reading the last page of a book without having lived the chapters. You might see the answer, but you won't understand what it really means. The journey forged the boy into someone who was capable of possessing the treasure. Without the journey, he would not be fit to hold it. The Alchemist is akin to the story of the prodigal son in the Bible. Jesus tells the story of a man who had 2 sons. The younger son said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. The younger son then runs off to a distant country to frolic with prostitutes and indulge in hedonistic behaviors. When the money runs out, the youngest son finds himself desperate and alone. He winds up taking the only job he can get, throwing food to pigs. He can't even eat the food that he gives to the pigs. He's lost everything, his money, status, and pride. So he decides to return to his father, with his tail between his legs, and offer himself as a lowly servant. But when his father sees him, he rejoices, and calls to kill the fattened calf in celebration. The eldest son is hurt by this, and says, "I've stayed by your side and always obeyed you, but you never even gave me a young goat to celebrate with my friends. What gives?" "My son," the father says, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The lesson here is simple and profound. Taking a treasure that one is not ready for will lead to chaos and destruction. The youngest son left home a selfish, wasteful sinner, but through hitting rock bottom, he learned the errors of his ways and returned home with humility and maturity. There are 2 types of people in this world, those who are humble and those who are about to be humbled. The process of being humbled will destroy parts of oneself that need to die, in order for the true self to be born. Alchemy is an ancient tradition of transforming base materials into noble materials, like changing lead into gold. The alchemists combined elements of chemistry, metallurgy, physics, medicine, astrology, art, and mysticism to bend materials to meet their desires. But on a deeper level, alchemy is about spiritual purification. Many alchemists saw the process of refining metals as a metaphor for refining the soul, transforming the base self into something noble. This idea of transformation is at the heart of every great story. It's not about finishing the story or getting to the end goal. The treasure lies in the journey itself. Through experience, we grow. Wisdom is knowledge plus experience. One cannot be wise without experience. Every struggle we've endured has molded our character. The more we experience, the more humble, aware, capable, and wise we become. Anything taken must be earned. If it is not earned, the reward becomes a punishment. Just take, for example, all the people who win the lottery. They are not prepared for that level of wealth, and it often ends up bankrupting them and destroying their lives. Today we live in a world of quick and easy rewards, which seem to be offered to us freely. Take, for instance, pornography. Unlimited access to sexual gratification is only a click away. A teenager now has access to more graphic imagery than any king in history. Seeing these images comes with a heavy price, though. The more one gets sucked down this rabbit hole, the more difficult it will be to form deep, intimate relationships with a partner in real life. Similarly, students who use AI to do their homework, maybe using ChatGPT to write their papers, will improve their grades. But upon graduation, what did they actually learn? Did they really get ahead? And now it is being shown that there is a direct correlation between the use of AI and cognitive decline. So it is time to be very careful when we are offered cheap, easy access to something that feels good. Understand that there is always a price to pay. This is the cosmic balance. But on the bright side, there is always a reward for sacrificing comfort in the pursuit of your destiny. The rewards are usually not immediate, but the work you put in and the suffering you endure will always pay off. The reward may not come in the form of money, but what price would you be willing to pay to become who you want to be? What good is treasure if you are weak and ignorant? No amount of money can buy wisdom and integrity. A story that illustrates the bright side of this cosmic balance comes from Anna Lemke's book, Dopamine Nation, in her chapter on the power of radical honesty. A young man named Drake struggled with alcohol and addiction, something that ran in his family. Drake had a habit of partying and driving home drunk. One night, he's pulled over by the police and given a DUI. Luckily for Drake, he had enough money to afford the best lawyer, who could get him off and clear his record. All he had to do is lie and plead not guilty, and the lawyer would handle the rest. But something strange happened when Drake stood in front of the judge. His conscience jolted him into confessing that he was indeed driving drunk. He was then severely punished, losing his driver's license for a year, sentenced to mandatory DUI classes, and having to pay a hefty fine. The consequences of telling the truth were initially harsh, but the ordeal caused Drake to stop drinking and get his life together. 10 years later, now a successful doctor, he looks back on that moment of telling the truth in court as the most important positive experience of his life. He could have taken the quick and easy route and avoided the consequences, but where would he have ended up if he lied? Most likely still an addict, selfish and impulsive. Telling the truth was a painful price, but he paid it voluntarily, and for this he was rewarded by becoming the person he was meant to be. There's a saying that hell is the place where the person you are meets the person you could have been. So perhaps heaven is the place where you become who you are truly meant to be. To be the wisest, most competent, noblest, most courageous individual possible. To have a deep sense of your soul and inner peace. To live in complete harmony with nature and your loved ones. To lay on your deathbed with no regrets. This is what is within your grasp. Remember, the reward for our work is not what we get, but who we become. It is the privilege of a lifetime to become who you were meant to be. Another great quote from Paulo Coelho is, "Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. In today's internet age, we're constantly bombarded with unsolicited voices telling us what to think, what to believe, who to hate, and so on. This is why I use Ground News, which is the sponsor of today's video. They've been endorsed by the Nobel Peace Center recently as an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. For instance, when I was writing the script for this video, I went to Ground News and looked at the articles about the recent MIT study on ChatGPT use and brain activity. I could see that over 200 sources covered this story, and it's a fairly even distribution between the right, left, and center. However, the left focused on how ChatGPT was changing students' behavior, while the right was much more focused on cognitive decline and the long-term effects. Ground News gives me a bird's-eye view of the media landscape, so I can see who's pushing what narratives and compare how different sources cover the same story. Ground News also helps me spot my own biases. I can see if I'm getting stuck only viewing sources that favor my beliefs. Ground News has developed a blind spot page to show you articles that are disproportionately reported by the right or left. So if you're looking for a way to be informed without being misinformed, subscribe to Ground News through my link, ground.news/afterschool, to get 40% off the Vantage plan for unlimited access to every feature. This is the plan I use. Ground News is providing a valuable service, and I hope you check them out.
I'd like to tell you about the strangest secret in the world. Some years ago, the late Nobel Prize-winning Dr. Albert Schweitzer was being interviewed in London, and a reporter asked him, "Doctor, what's wrong with men today?" And the great doctor was silent a moment, and then he said, "Men simply don't think." It's about this that I want to talk with you. We live today in a golden age. This is an era that man has looked forward to, dreamed of, and worked toward for thousands of years. But since it's here, we pretty well take it for granted. We in America are particularly fortunate to live in the richest land that ever existed on the face of the earth, a land of abundant opportunity for everyone. But do you know what happens? Well, let's take 100 men who start even at the age of 25. Do you have any idea what will happen to those men by the time they're 65? These 100 men who all start even at the age of 25 believe they're going to be successful. If you asked any one of these men if he wanted to be a success, he'd tell you he did. And you'd notice that he was eager toward life, that there was a certain sparkle to his eye, an erectness to his carriage, and life seemed like a pretty interesting adventure to him. But by the time they're 65, one will be rich. 4 will be financially independent. 5 will still be working. 54 will be broke. Now think a moment. Out of the 100, only 5 make the grade. Now why do so many fail? What has happened to the sparkle that was there when they were 25? What's become of the dreams, the hopes, the plans? And why is there such a large disparity between what these men intended to do and what they actually accomplished? When we say about 5% achieve success, we have to define success. And here's the best definition I've ever been able to find. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. If a man is working toward a predetermined goal and knows where he's going, that man is a success. If he's not doing that, he's a failure. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Rollo May, the distinguished psychiatrist, wrote a wonderful book called Man's Search for Himself. And in this book he says, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity, people acting like everyone else without knowing why, without knowing where they're going. Now think of it. In America right now, there are over 18 million people 65 years of age and older. And most of them are broke. They're dependent on someone else for life's necessities. Now, we learn to read by the time we're 7. We learn to make a living by the time we're 25. Usually by that time, we're not only making a living, we're supporting a family. And yet, by the time we're 65, we haven't learned how to become financially independent in the richest land that has ever been known. Why? We conform. And the trouble is that we're acting like the wrong percentage group, the 95 who don't succeed. Now, why do these people conform? Well, they really don't know. These people believe that their lives are shaped by circumstances, by things that happen to them, by exterior forces. They're outer-directed people. A survey was made one time that covered a lot of men, working men, and these men were asked, why do you work? Why do you get up in the morning? 19 out of 20 had no idea. If you ask them, they'll say, well, everyone goes to work in the morning, and that's the reason they do it, because everyone else is doing it. Now let's get back to our definition of success. Who succeeds? The only person who succeeds is the person who is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. He's the person who says, I'm going to become this, and then begins to work toward that goal. I'll tell you who the successful people are. A success is the school teacher who's teaching school because that's what he or she wants to do. The success is the woman who's a wife and mother because she wanted to become a wife and mother and is doing a good job of it. The success is the man who runs the corner gas station because that was his dream. That's what he wanted to do. The success is the successful salesman who wants to become a top-notch salesman and grow and build with his organization. A success is anyone who is doing deliberately a predetermined job because that's what he decided to do deliberately. But only 1 out of 20 does that. That's why today there isn't really any competition unless we make it for ourselves. Instead of competing, all we have to do is create. You know, for 20 years, I looked for the key which would determine what would happen to a human being. Was there a key I wanted to know which would make the future a promise that we could foretell to a large extent? Was there a key that would guarantee a person's becoming successful if he only knew about it and knew how to use it? Well, there is such a key, and I've found it. Have you ever wondered why so many men work so hard and honestly without ever achieving anything in particular, and others don't seem to work hard and yet seem to get everything? They seem to have the magic touch. You've heard them say that about someone. Everything he touches turns to gold. And have you ever noticed that a man who becomes successful tends to continue to become successful? And on the other hand, have you noticed how a man who's a failure tends to continue to fail? Well, it's because of goals. Some of us have goals, some don't. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. It's that simple. Think of a ship leaving a harbor, and think of it with the complete voyage mapped out and planned. The captain and crew know exactly where it's going and how long it'll take. It has a definite goal. Now, 9,999 times out of 10,000, it will get to where it started out to get. Now, let's take another ship, just like the first, only let's not put a crew on it or a captain at the helm. Let's give it no aiming point, no goal, no destination. We just start the engines and let it go. I think you'll agree with me that if it gets out of the harbor at all, it will either sink or wind up on some deserted beach, a derelict. It can't go anyplace because it has no destination and no guidance, and it's the same with a human being. Now let's get back to the strangest secret in the world, the story that I wanted to tell you today. Why do men with goals succeed in life and men without them fail? Well, let me tell you something which, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. If you understand completely what I'm going to tell you from this moment on, your life will never be the same again. You will suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. The things you want just seem to fall in line, and from now on you won't have the problems, the worries, the gnawing lump of anxiety that perhaps you've experienced before. Doubt, fear, well, they'll be things of the past. Here's the key to success and the key to failure. We become what we think about. Now let me say that again. We become what we think about. Throughout all history, the great wise men and teachers, philosophers and prophets have disagreed with one another on many different things. It's only on this one point that they are in complete and unanimous agreement. Listen to what Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, said. A man's life is what his thoughts make of it. Disraeli said this, everything comes if a man will only wait. I've brought myself by long meditation to the conviction that a human being with a settled purpose must accomplish it, and that nothing can resist a will that will stake even existence for its fulfillment. Ralph Waldo Emerson said this, a man is what he thinks about all day long. William James said, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. And he also said, we need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question were real, and it will become infallibly real by growing into such a connection with our life that it will become real. It will become so knit with habit and emotion that our interest in it will be those which characterize belief. And he also said, if you only care enough for a result, you will almost certainly attain it. If you wish to be rich, you will be rich. If you wish to be learned, you will be learned. If you wish to be good, you will be good. Only you must then really wish these things and wish them exclusively, and not wish at the same time 100 other incompatible things just as strongly. In the Bible, you read in Mark 9:23, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. My old friend Dr. Norman Vincent Peale put it this way, this is one of the greatest laws in the universe. Fervently do I wish I had discovered it as a very young man. It dawned upon me much later in life, and I found it to be one of the greatest, if not my greatest discovery outside of my relationship to God. The great law, briefly and simply stated, is that if you think in negative terms, you will get negative results. If you think in positive terms, you will achieve positive results. That is the simple fact, he went on to say, which is at the basis of an astonishing law of prosperity and success. In 3 words, believe and succeed. William Shakespeare put it this way, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. George Bernard Shaw said, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. Well, it's pretty apparent, isn't it? And every person who discovered this for a while believed that he was the first one to work it out. We become what we think about. Now, it stands to reason that a person who's thinking about a concrete and worthwhile goal is going to reach it, because that's what he's thinking about, and we become what we think about. Conversely, the man who has no goal, who doesn't know where he's going, and whose thoughts must therefore be thoughts of confusion and anxiety and fear and worry, becomes what he thinks about. His life becomes one of frustration and fear and anxiety and worry. And if he thinks about nothing, he becomes nothing. Now, how does it work? Why do we become what we think about? Well, I'll tell you how it works as far as we know. Now, to do this, I want to tell you about a situation that parallels the human mind. Suppose a farmer has some land, and it's good fertile land. Now, the land gives the farmer a choice. He may plant in that land whatever he chooses. The land doesn't care. It's up to the farmer to make the decision. Now, remember, we're comparing the human mind with the land because the mind, like the land, doesn't care what you plant in it. It will return what you plant, but it doesn't care what you plant. Now let's say that the farmer has 2 seeds in his hand. One is a seed of corn. The other is nightshade, a deadly poison. He digs 2 little holes in the earth and he plants both seeds, one corn, the other nightshade. He covers up the holes, waters, and takes care of the land, and what will happen? Invariably, the land will return what's planted. As it's written in the Bible, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. Now remember, the land doesn't care. It'll return poison in just as wonderful abundance as it will corn. So up come the 2 plants, one corn, one poison. Now, the human mind is far more fertile, far more incredible and mysterious than the land, but it works the same way. It doesn't care what we plant. Success, failure. A concrete, worthwhile goal, or confusion. Misunderstanding, fear, anxiety, and so on. But what we plant, it must return to us. You see, the human mind is the last great unexplored continent on Earth. It contains riches beyond our wildest dreams. It will return anything we want to plant. Now, you might say, well, if that's true, why don't people use their minds more? Well, I think they figured out an answer to that one, too. Our mind comes as standard equipment at birth. It's free, and things that are given to us for nothing we place little value on. Things that we pay money for, we value. The paradox is that exactly the reverse is true. Everything that's really worthwhile in life came to us free. Our minds, our souls, our bodies, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our intelligence, our love of family and children and friends and country, all these priceless possessions are free. But the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. A good man can be completely wiped out and make another fortune. He can do that several times. Even if our home burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. The human mind isn't used because we take it for granted. Familiarity breeds contempt. It can do any kind of job we assign to it, but generally speaking, we use it for little jobs instead of big, important ones. Universities have proved that most of us are operating on about 10% or less of our abilities. So decide now, what is it you want? Plant your goal in your mind. It's the most important decision you'll ever make in your entire life. What is it you want? Do you want to be an outstanding salesman? A better worker at your particular job? Do you want to go places in your company? In your community? Do you want to get rich? All you've got to do is plant that seed in your mind, care for it, work steadily toward your goal, and it will become a reality. It not only will, there's no way that it cannot. You see, that's a law, like the laws of Sir Isaac Newton, the laws of gravity. If you get on top of a building and jump off, you'll always go down. You'll never go up, and it's the same with all the other laws of nature. They always work. They're inflexible. Think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way. Picture yourself in your mind's eye as having already achieved this goal. See yourself doing the things you will be doing when you've reached your goal. Ours has been called the phenobarbital age, the age of ulcers and nervous breakdowns and tranquilizers. At a time when medical research has raised us to a new plateau of good health and longevity, far too many of us worry ourselves into an early grave trying to cope with things in our own little personal ways without learning a few great laws that will take care of everything for us. These things we bring on ourselves through our habitual way of thinking. Every one of us is the sum total of his own thoughts. He is where he is because that's exactly where he really wants to be, whether he'll admit that or not. Each of us must live off the fruit of his thoughts in the future, because what you think today and tomorrow, next month and next year, will mold your life and determine your future. You're guided by your mind. I remember one time I was driving through eastern Arizona, and I saw one of those giant earth-moving machines roaring along the road at about 35 miles an hour with what looked like 30 tons of dirt in it. A tremendous, incredible machine, and there was a little man perched way up on top with the wheel in his hands guiding it. And as I drove along, I was struck by the similarity of that machine to the human mind. Just suppose you're sitting at the controls of such a vast source of energy. Are you going to sit back and fold your arms and let it run itself into a ditch? Or are you going to keep both hands firmly on the wheel and control and direct this power to a specific, worthwhile purpose? It's up to you. You're in the driver's seat. You see, the very law that gives us success is a two-edged sword. We must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead a man to a life of success, wealth, happiness, and all the things he ever dreamed of for himself and his family. That very same law can lead him into the gutter. It's all in how he uses it, for good or for bad. This is the strangest secret in the world.
So then, here is a conception of nature as something you must trust. Outside nature, the birds, the bees, the flowers, the mountains, the clouds, and inside nature, human nature. Now, nature isn't trustworthy completely. It'll sometimes let you down with a wallop. But that's the risk you take. That's the risk of life. What's the alternative? I do not trust nature at all. It's got to be watched. Do you know what that leads to? It leads to 1984 and Big Brother. It leads to the totalitarian state where everybody is his brother's policeman, and where everybody is watching everybody else to report them to the authorities, where you can't trust your own motivation, where you have to have a psychoanalyst in charge of you all the time to be sure that you don't think dangerous thoughts or peculiar thoughts. And you report all peculiar thoughts to your analyst, and your analyst keeps a record of them and reports them to the government. And everybody is busy keeping records of everything. It's much more important to record what happens than what happens. This is already eating us up. It's much more important that you have your books right than that you conduct your business in a good way. In universities, it's much more important that the registrar's records be in order than that the library be well stocked. After all, do you know your grades are all locked up in safes, and they're protected from thievery and pilfering, and they're the most valuable property that the university has. The library can go hang. Then furthermore, the main function of a university is, what any sensible person would imagine, to teach students and to do research. So the faculty should be the most important thing in the university. On the contrary, the administration is the most important thing. The people who keep the records, who make the game rules up. And so the faculty are always being obstructed by the administration and being forced to attend irrelevant meetings and to do everything but scholarship. Do you know what scholarship means? What a school means? The original meaning of a schola? Leisure. We talked of a scholar and a gentleman because a gentleman was a person who had a private income, and he could afford to be a scholar. He didn't have to earn a living, therefore he could study the classics and poetry and things like that. Today, nothing is more busy than a school. They make you work, because you got through on schedule. They have expedited courses, and you go to school so as to get a union card, a PhD or something, so that you can earn a living. So that's a whole contradiction of scholarship. Scholarship is to study everything that's unimportant, not necessary for survival. All the charming irrelevances of life. But you see, the thing is this: if you don't have a room in your life for the playful, life's not worth living. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But if the only reason for which Jack plays is that he can work better afterwards, he's not really playing. He's playing because it's good for him. He's not playing at all. You have to be able to be a true scholar. You have to cultivate an attitude to life where you're not trying to get anything out of it. You pick up a pebble on the beach, look at it. It's beautiful. Don't try and get a sermon out of it. Sermons in stones and God in everything be damned. Just enjoy it. Don't feel that you've got to salve your conscience by saying that this is for the advancement of your aesthetic understanding. Enjoy the pebble. If you do that, you become healthy. You become able to be a loving, helpful human being. But if you can't do that, If you can only do things because they are somehow you're going to get something out of it, you're a vulture. So, we have to learn. We don't have to, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go on living. But it's a great idea, it's a great thing if you can learn what the Chinese call purposelessness. They think nature is purposeless. When we say something's purposeless, that's put down. There's no future in it. It's a washout. But when they hear the word purposeless, they think that's just great. It's like the waves washing against the shore, going on and on and on forever with no meaning. A great Zen master said as his death poem, just before he died, "From the bathtub to the bathtub, I have uttered stuff and nonsense." The bathtub in which the baby is washed at birth, the bathtub in which the corpse is washed before burial, all this time I have said many nonsenses. Like the birds in the trees go, twee, 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 what's it all about? Everybody tries to say, oh, it's a mating call. It's purposeful, trying to get their mate, attract them with a song. That's why they have colors. Butterflies have eyes on them. Self-protection. Engineering view of the universe. Why do that? They say, well, it's because they need to survive. Oh, why survive? What's that for? Well, to survive. See, human beings are really a lot of tubes. And all living creatures are just tubes. And these tubes have to put things in at one end and let it out at the other. Then they get clever about it and they develop nerve ganglia on one end of the tube, the eating end, called a head. And it's got eyes in it, it's got ears in it, it's got little organs, antenna and things like this. And that helps you to find things to put in one end so that you can let them out the other. Well, while you're doing this, you see the stuff going through wears the tube out. And so that the show can go on, the tubes have complicated ways of making other tubes who will go on doing the same thing. In at one end, out the other. And they say, well, that's terribly serious. That's awfully important. We've got to keep on doing this. But when Chinese say nature is purposeless, this is a compliment. It's like the idea of the Japanese have a word, yugen. And they describe yugen as watching wild geese fly and be hidden in the clouds. As watching a ship vanish behind a distant island. As wandering on and on in a great forest with no thought of return. Haven't you done this? Haven't you gone on a walk with no particular purpose in mind? Carry a stick with you and you occasionally hit at old stumps and wander along and sometimes twiddle your thumbs. It's at that moment that you are a perfectly rational human being. You've learned purposelessness. All music is purposeless. Is music getting somewhere? If it were, if the aim of music were, of a symphony, were to get to the final bar, the best conductor would be the one who got there fastest. See, dancing, when you dance, do you aim to arrive at a particular place on the floor? Is that the idea of dancing? No. The aim of dancing is to dance. Is the present. Well, it's exactly the same with our life. We think life has a purpose. I remember the preachers used to say, when I was a small boy, I'd always hear it. We must follow God's purpose. His purpose for you and his purpose for me. When I asked these cats what the purpose was, they never knew. They didn't know what it was. They had a hymn. God is working his purpose out as year succeeds to year. God is working his purpose out and the time is drawing near. The time when the earth shall be full of the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. What's the glory of God? Well, they weren't quite sure. I'll tell you what it is. In heaven, all those angels are gathered round the glory of God. That is to say, the which than which there is no whicher. Catholics call it the beatific vision, the Jews call it the Shekinah. And there are all those angels. And they're standing around it and they're saying, Alleluia, 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 Alleluia. It means nothing. They're just having a ball. See, that's what happened in the beginning. When God created the universe, it was created like all stars, all planets, all galaxies. They're vaguely spherical. He created this and he said, have a ball. But before he said that, he said, you must draw the line somewhere. That was the real thing he said first. Before let there be light. That came later. First thing was, you must draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, nothing will happen. You know, you've got to have the good guys, the bad guys. You've got to have this, you've got to have that. The black and white, light and darkness. Must draw the line somewhere. Now, here's the choice then. Are you going to trust it or not? If you do trust it, you may get let down. And this it is yourself, your own nature, and all nature around you. There are going to be mistakes. But if you don't trust it at all, you're going to strangle yourself. You're going to fence yourself round with rules and regulations and laws and prescriptions and policemen and guards, and who's going to guard the guards, and who's going to look after Big Brother to be sure that he doesn't do something stupid. No go. Supposing I get annoyed with somebody in the audience, and I'm going to throw this ashtray at them, but I don't want to hit my friend sitting next to that person. I want to be absolutely sure this ashtray hits that individual. And so I don't trust myself to throw it. I have to carry it along and be sure I hit that person on the head. See, I don't throw it because I can't let go of it. To throw it, I must let go of it. To live, I must have faith. I must trust myself to the totally unknown. I must trust myself to a nature which doesn't have a boss, because a boss is a system of mistrust. That is why Lao Tzu's Tao loves and nourishes all things, but does not lord it over them.
The ideas of Alan Watts are fundamental contributions to the wisdom on this channel, but the animations displayed here are merely the tip of the iceberg. If you want to dive deep into the philosophies, we recommend checking out their audiobooks on Audible. We are truly blessed to have access to life-enhancing perspectives at the click of a button, and Audible makes it just that easy. Go to audible.com/afterschool or text afterschool to 500-500 to listen for free to the audiobooks of Eckhart Tolle, Alan Watts, or any audiobook of your choice from Audible's vast selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and more. Audible makes it easy to absorb
What's up? We're back. Welcome to the skill circuit. Welcome to the skill circle. Welcome to the skill circus. Welcome to the skillet slipstream. Welcome to the skill skis club. Ski club. The skill ski club. I like the skill circus the most. The skill circle. Alright. Alright. First things first. Tune the guitar. Please tune your guitar. We want to go to E standard tuning, okay? E standard, that's how your guitar should probably come out of the box, to be honest. That is the tuning that most guitars often live in, although I can't speak for everybody's guitar. To this day, there are tunings that I will look up I'll look up a song and I'll look up the tab, and it'll be like, nobody's detuning their strings to that level to play this song, you ask me. Tune that guitar. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the multi-stream here. Like I said, it's E standard. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. I'm trying my best to show you guys without destroying something, but here goes your guitar. You got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. These are the frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. There are dots on some of guitar. Like most of the guitars will have dots to tell you what fret you're on. My guitar, this one specifically, has the dots at 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. Your guitar might not have this, and that's okay. You got 6 strings, hopefully, and you have, I mean, anywhere between 12 and 20-something frets, depending on what kind of guitar. Now, this is a standard, very standard acoustic guitar. Okay, I'm not a gearhead, so I don't invest too much of my time to understand too terribly much about the guitar, aside from maybe who made it, what style it is, whether it has one of these things. Okay, I think this is called a preamp or something, but it's like a built-in tuner. Other features, I could tell you that, yes, they come in handy. The most handy feature of a guitar that I've ever cared to have, and maybe you'll agree with me, is actually this little guy and that little guy. You feel me? Like, think about it. If you have a guitar that doesn't have the strap mechanism here to hold it, I mean, good luck. That's usually the most annoying thing to me, to be very honest with you. We're in tune. We're in standard tuning. We are comfortable using our right hand to play the strings individually, I hope. I hope we're also comfortable taking our left hand and designating a finger per fret, as people love. So finger per fret, okay, guys? Right? So on and so forth. So when I call out to you, do something with your left hand, i.e. put it on the 3rd fret of the bottom string, you should take your ring finger and find the 3rd fret of the bottom string. Now, I'm not going to have a cow if you end up doing it with the index finger. It's a versatile instrument. You end up doing it different ways. You know, sue me because I use the guitar incorrectly. Right? I mean, that's what it is. So I will not have a fit in most cases if you end up deviating from the whole index to the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and so on. I mean, shit changes. Stuff changes, guys. It's just natural. The stuff changes. So, all right, let's practice. So, if you're watching, take your index finger and put on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. I myself had to think about what I said. So, if you're out there, that's a possibility. But I said index finger 4th, 3rd fret, 4th string. Now I'm pulling off. Yeah, so if I call out to you and I say, guys, index finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, pinky on the 7th fret of the 4th string, index finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string, ring finger on the 7th fret of the 4th string. What if I told you with your right hand, go ahead and strum just those 2 notes together, forming what is called a power chord? It might look something like this, and if you're a little bit further along, you might even start muting. You might start muting the top string. But if you're just starting out, I could see how you would want to just focus on very specific movements with your right hand. If you can get the chord down, right, and with your right hand really focus, and direct your energy into the point where your fingertips meet. This is where a pick would usually go in your hands. But if you don't have one, you can use the bottom of your index finger and really get in there. But that's the general point, is that if you can isolate with your right hand and only hit the strings that matter. Remember, people want you to do this with your index finger. with your ring finger. Whatever's easier for you, honestly. Now, maybe I've formed some bad habits here, but I will tell you what's always best is using the next finger over. So where I would want to use the pinky, I will tell you to use the ring because it probably frees up your pinky. You don't want to... You don't want to starve yourself of nutrients, i.e. don't miss out on possibilities with the pinky just because you're using your pinky closer to a pinky closer to your fingers in general. So here's a good one. Let's call it out. Take your left hand, put your index finger on the top string or the 6th string, 3rd fret. Go ahead and take your ring finger and put it on the 5th string, 5th fret. So you're going 3, 5. Can we do that? 3, 5 with your left hand. Top string, 5th string, 6, 5. Okay. The frets that you're looking for. Remember, I explained the strings and then I explained the frets. The strings are over here, the frets over here. If you can make the power chord at 3, 5, the next thing I want you to do is go ahead and isolate with your right hand, make the imaginary coin, and try to figure out what's easier. If you can only do downstrokes, that's okay. You're still in the game, right? Nothing wrong with some simple downstrokes. Got it? You can mix the up and down, so you can go. If you really have a flavor for it, what you want to do is now start throwing in some palm muting. My favorite ever, palm muting. Same chord. Remember, I'm all about mixing it up with the right hand. If you feel like something's so terribly easy with the left hand, go ballistic with the right hand. Okay? Try that again. I'll show you. Anyways, you can see where I'm trying to go with this. We're going to start switching chords very soon, but I need you to get comfortable with the right hand. That's the biggest thing. Get comfy with the right hand. So I'm going to put my guitar down, and if you are watching, I'm going to give you a second to actually do this at home. Please, take your guitar, hold your guitar, please, and what you want to do with your left hand is form a power chord at 3, 5. Form a power chord. Okay, you see what just happened. It's because I suspect people aren't actually doing this. Form a power chord at 3, 5. If you can, then you should. If you're at home, you should definitely do that. Okay, form it at 3, 5. Use your right hand to go ahead and start strumming. If you can only do downstrokes, then just do that. And do that 8 times. Count it. If you can do all of this and then some, go ahead and palm mute it. Okay? Show us. Do it. Prove it to yourself more than anything. Okay? Look, I can't even sit still. I have to bring the guitar back. This is part of fidgeting. Like, have you ever been told that you fidget too much? Like, one time I was at work and I was sharing my screen and I was looking at this tool and my coworker was like, "You're fidgeting too much with the mouse." I was like, am I just now realizing that I'm a fidgeter? Like, I fidget a lot? So then it started to click to me, and I think it's just now in this moment it's starting to click to me that those who have this desire to just like do some shit with their hands all the time, you should start playing the guitar, because it's a great form of getting the desire to use some kind of fidget toy. Don't put it in the microwave, with your hands. Back to 3, 5 is what I said to do. If you did it right, you should have done this. Not me trying to put my pinky back on there. We have to build some good habits, even if it's been such a long time and I've been so accustomed to doing the power chords with my pinky. I have to realize, even at my big age, that I still have things to learn. This is what makes me a good teacher. I still have things to learn, but I have much more to teach at this moment. I still have, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of things to learn. So, knowing that. Can we do that? Just freestyle at the end, okay? I don't know. Like an AI version of the King of the Hill song. What am I doing? I'm doing a power chord at 3, 5 on the top string and the 5th string. Power chord. 3, 5. I'm gonna tell you this. I'll say this and listen up. 90% of your right hand and the things that you do on the guitar with the right hand are like confidence based. You only attain confidence after doing it so many times, after so many repetitions, right? If you get those repetitions, then you will gain the confidence you need to be able to strum the guitar as needed. So feel free to make mistakes. The only way you get good at rhythm guitar, for example, is by, well, you gotta throw it against the wall. That's what I'll say. Throw it against the wall. I'm looking for a different chord. That's another part of the game is once you learn how to make some power chords, you start moving them up and down. Once again with that pinky. Start messing around by single notes. Single notes, anybody? A lot of fun music is made with the taking a power chord and then kind of deconstructing it, if you will. Does anybody know how that song goes? Is that disrespectful? Where does that rank on the disrespect meter? That I know maybe a little bit of it sounded good, possibly even, but I don't know how the rest of it goes. Not even from an ear perspective, and I forgot it, if anything. So good for me. But the point was power chord 2/4, 5th string, 4th string, the A string and the D string. You go 2/4, okay? Lift your ring finger. Lift it. 2, 4, 2, 0. Then he goes 0, 4, 0. Wait, sorry. 0, 4, 0. Yeah, that goes 0, 4, 0, 4, 0. 0, 4, 0, 0. 0, 4, 0. Ah. Let's try that again from the top. Okay, so this Metallicus song goes like this. 2 4 0 4 3 4. Same pattern with the 0 on top and a 0 on the 4th string. Isn't that amazing? A 0 on the 4th string. That's how he did it. And then he breaks into something of that nature. Something of the sort. But that's that Metallica song. Mostly starting with a power chord. So when you start to unlock the secret sauce of power chords, you will begin to, I would say like a lot of music, 25% to 30% of a lot of music will just open up to you immediately. You know, music from when I was growing up and all the music today, sort of. A lot of eras are captured within power chords. And at the very least, what I can single-handedly tell you is that if you want to start doing bar chords, chord chart, switching around between chords, start with power chords. It's 2 fingers at the minimum. And I think it's a lot like Legos, building blocks. These can build you up very quickly if you are willing to give it the attention it needs, right? And then within power chords, you can start doing palm muting. You can do muted strumming. You can do all types of stuff. And again, it opens up a lot of music to you. You start reading tabs and you're like, what's the X mean, dude? What is this? How do I play that, right? This is what that is. This is what it ends up being. All right. Let's check the chat. Check the chat. Remind me later. Yeah, for sure. How we doing, y'all? How's everyone feeling? It's is it Sunday? It's Sunday night. It's a good time for everybody, I'm sure. It's a good thing to be grateful, isn't it? So that's what we're gonna do. Strange. Stand by. This position, not good. Huh. Weird. It says I'm not live. That's very interesting. Oh, no. We are. For sure. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right, cool. So we're doing a couple things. That's the phone telling me to look at my heart rate, something like that. Why am I nervous? I don't know. All right, well, let's get back to the lesson, y'all. That's what I need to do. Let's get back to the lesson. So, power chords. Big fun. Power chords, amazing. Right hand strumming techniques, also amazing. Let me rack my brain. What can we give you guys that will feed you? Again, this is all beginner based, so you know me. I like to, well, if you don't know me, then you will figure this out. Oh, here we go. My own voice is chiming in here. Check this out. You may know the D chord. You may know D minor, right? We can teach you a couple more. Since we don't have a capo on, all of this is valid, to my knowledge. But if you want to fact check, then you can let me know. But we all know the D chord, and if you don't know the D chord, it's what they call one of those fundamental building blocks of a chord, okay? So, with your right hand, find the D string, okay? D string, otherwise known as the fourth string, because it goes 6, 5, 4. D string. Now, it's no coincidence that we are talking about the D string, but we are also going to form the chord D. Check out that handy shape right there. Looks like a triangle, doesn't it? My brain tells me that this looks like a triangle. This could very well be a different shape for you, and that's fine. It's a triangle. So now, how to form the D chord. We already talked about the top string. That is the note and the string D. The string D, the fourth string D, plays the note D, okay? So when you play the fourth string, the string is called D, the D string. When you play it with nothing on your left hand, otherwise known as an open string, it is called D, the note D, okay? Now, when you do the D chord, which we'll talk about how to form in a second, it's important to understand that the note D that we discussed in heavy detail just now forms the root of the D chord. I am going to cut the theory as part of my 20% agreement that I shall not deviate too hard from the play first methodology. This is the D chord. The D note and the D string by itself, which has no finger on it, it's just open, creates the root note for what is called the D chord. Now a chord is just 2 or more notes played together. I think it's 2. Once again, if this is baby stuff to you, then try to mix it up with your right hand. Can you That's for my non-beginners who seem to or want to watch this, and good, you should. Right, that song. Covered many times, many places, many bands, many folks. So that goes D chord, regular D chord. Good old-fashioned American D chord. Alright? This has to be D major 7. Whoa. Because it's in the other song, and that's the D major 7 shape. Now, we'll fact check what this is, but this is the D chord, alright? So we're going to find out right now. Chord,
Where are you, dude? Free? Nah, dude. Nah, dude. I need tools, man. This is not what I asked for. These AI coded websites, man, they all look the same. Don't they? Ow. Alright, you go to tools. Might as well share my screen. You guys want to see this? Check this out. Mac OS screen capture. Watch this. Display. Duck, go. Alright, check it. So. This is a tool that lets us check what the chord is. Chord finder. Alright, so what I'm doing is going here. You guys even see this? Yeah, you can. Alright. Zoom in if you have to. Strings, frets. If I'm doing this, that goes open, D string. Alright, great. And then we go bop, bop, bop. D major 7. Everybody. And yes, these are muted as my guest would confirm. Check that out. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Don't you love this app? Isn't that cool? Look, this mouse is about to fall. So I had doubts, right? My countrymen would be like, any doubts? And I had doubts. And look what I did. I used the tool to my advantage. And I said, I think this is a D major 7. And you know what? It ended up being D major 7. So I'm pretty happy about that. Back to what we were doing. Alright. That song is fun. It goes regular D. Do you have a hard time strumming? Are you challenged when it comes to strumming? Are you strummingly challenged? Do you feel like you have no rhythm? Like no rhythm? You have nothing? It's a lie. You have it. You just have to be willing to practice and do unconventional things. Be very bold. This is one thing okay, so maybe you'll relate to this, but I had a fear. I have a phobia, extreme phobia, self-induced. Like I don't want to play out loud. I'd be at home. Very, very skittish of me, but I wouldn't want to play out loud. It's such a foolish thing because when you're young, you have all of the gasoline in the world to just go for things. You shouldn't give two. You should just play, and you should perform, and you should go find people and make bands, and you should definitely do the thing when you're young. But if you're not going to do that for yourself, then you're going to end up being very mouse-like, and maybe you won't practice as hard as you feel like you should because you don't want to bother people. You don't want to like be that person. You're not trying to come off a certain way. So maybe you stop or you hold yourself back a little. I tell you what, you should not do that. You should actively stamp that out of yourself and be louder, right? So don't be obnoxious. I'm not telling you to be obnoxious. What I'm saying is that you should prioritize learning. Keep playing that shit. I mean, that stuff. Keep playing it. It's one of those things you should fight for. So that's my spiel there. What were we doing before this? We were learning this song. So it's a D chord. Strumming, like I said though, I think I was making this point earlier.
the confidence. It's like 80% confidence and the willingness to figure it out. So run with me, okay? This one is a D7. A D7. If you've been paying attention, maybe you have like a teacher or some kind of course that you follow, you've probably heard of the 7 chords. Now, a major 7 chord sounds jazzy almost. Major 7. It sounds good, and even the name major 7, right? Minor 7. It's very sounds posh, and for good reason, because it sounds very smooth. Think about it. This is a D chord. This is a regular D chord right here. Probably forms the basis of so many songs that you've heard. Contrasted with D major 7, as we just saw in chordly. Sounds pretty good, right? Now that's major 7. What is D7 by itself? Fun stuff. For anybody who wants to know but doesn't already know, you can make a D chord using the following shape. On the 5th fret of the 5th string, and then all 3 of the 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 7th fret. So you're going 5, 7, 7, 7. Now, we'll do something together. Let's look at the other possible variations of the D chord, and maybe we can learn some of these together, huh? Tools. Capo chart. Capo position, nice. Okay, so if I'm on capo 2, this is so cool, man. That's pretty good, man. Okay, so when these goobers got mad, right? I kind of understand why they're like, you're lazy. Don't be a lazy teacher. Okay, guys. I hear you guys. And I'll tell you why. Seems like there are more than enough tools to get it done. And I'm not like one of these excuse dudes, so if you see the tool, notice we can see capo to chords, chord to capo. Wow. Capo to chords. I mean, this is the magic of AI, by the way. I want people to understand this. This website, chordly.com, is 1,000 %, a vibe-coded app, okay? And if you're wondering why I know that or how I know that, it's because I know how to do this. And let's just say certain tools or certain wrappers, they're called wrappers, we can get into it if you want, maybe not in this lesson, but a different lesson. Certain wrappers all kind of produce the same UI. This is a UI. And I'm not hating. I'm actually giving a lot of props right now because this thing is really useful. One of the highest forms of praise that I can give is, I wish I made that. This goes for music too. I wish I made that. I'm not kidding. Anyways, here we go. We'll take the song that people were losing their minds over. Capo 3, shapes sound 3 semitones higher. So if I'm doing one of these, Okay, so capo chart by key. Yeah, so if I want a E major, I want to play E, M, but I want a 7. What about the 7? How do I pick the 7? Chords in the song E major. Okay, interesting. This is telling us everything, dude. This is very cool. I highly recommend using chordly.com, guys. Chordly.com. Interesting. Okay, so what about the capo chords? Chord to capo. But why can't I pick a different chord? It's kind of interesting. Capo fret. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess it's not giving me everything, but that's cool with me. Chordly, everybody. Shout out Chordly. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, and then I go. Because yes, inevitably we all have to go sometime, don't we? What can we learn? What do we want to learn? Anything stick out, y'all. Alright, let's see. Hopefully I got rid of my screen share. Nope, I didn't get rid of my screen share. That is very good. So, we've talked about a couple things. I was gonna look up the D chord chart, actually. That's what I was gonna do. D chords. Yeah, can't spell chart. Can't spell chart. D. Variations of D. Oh no, see, this is the thing. You can't be opening random picks like that. Because it will start downloading the random stuff, man. I mean, it's crazy what the internet is. D chord chart. D chord. What I need is D chord variations. Oh, there we are. What on earth? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this is good. Show you what I'm talking about. It might be hard to see. So what I'll do is I'll make myself the tiny one. And I will make this one larger for y'all to see. Alright. How's that? Of course, we cannot forget about me, so I will put myself in the corner like so. So you can still see me. See, I'm still with you guys. I'm up here now. So, check it. D major. That one's the A, the interesting. I can't really see it. A, D, and F sharp. That is a D, A, D, A, D, D, A, D, E. Interesting. So we have D major, D minor. Now this is interesting. D7 is being done in a very odd way, if you ask me. It's the 5th? Sir, why are we doing it like this? Oh. I see. A near bar chord they want you to do for D7. I mean, you can just do it up here. I see. It's adding an extra... What is that? What is that? I mean, it's adding extra notes on there. That's interesting. I'm not going to bore you with the theory. I only like the shape. And this, you know what? This picture, by the way, for the purpose of shapes, it's not really doing a good job, is it? It's not such a nice, it can be confusing to look at because there's so much to absorb, if I'm not mistaken, to be honest with you. Now, there's a time and place for this, is what I'll say. Seriously, there's a time and place for that. And, I mean, even if I had 7 hours to stream every night, I don't think I would want to or need to go that hard into it. Now, what does that mean? That means that I can show you the shapes of these chords, and I can get you to start playing them. But what I cannot and what I refuse to do, this thing just like went into the guitar. What I refuse to do is bore you beyond belief with theory. I mean, that's what these videos are here for. In your spare time, like when you're eating cereal, or you're like me, and you're like, I need to watch something while I'm eating. Eating cannot happen unless I'm watching something. It can be like that sometimes, I understand. I mean, we're trying to be better about this, but if you're like me in that sense, then what you should be doing is watching all of the fun videos about theory and all that good stuff while you're off. Okay? You shouldn't be consuming brain rot content in your off time. Now, there's specific exceptions to that, but I seriously think that if you are somebody who wants to play guitar and you're following my methodology of do first and learn as a secondary thing, like as far as the theory goes, I'm not saying don't learn the theory, I'm just saying go and do the thing, apply the minimalistic principle that you can, and then in your spare time when you're not playing, when your hands are not on the keys, so to speak, we say that in the industry, hands on the keyboard. When your hands are not on the keyboard, you can use that opportunity to watch some videos about theory, watch the video about the circle of fifths, watch the video about God knows what else. It gets deep. You want to learn how to read sheet music, you watch that video. Learn that way. You're going to get as much as you do from me or somebody else. And the reality is that if you invest your time and your money into a teacher, you are going to get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You're never at liberty to actually decide how much you get from that teacher. That's entirely dependent on how the teacher sees the craft in itself. You know, how long have they been doing it? For what reason do they do it? What style do they teach and everything like that? So don't worry about it. It's a mixed bag. So what you got to do is just the fundamentals. And the fundamentals are play to feel good, keep playing, learn along the way. Learn along the way. Use the songs that you love as motivation. That's the best way. And if the songs that you like to play or you want to play are so incredibly difficult, sometimes it's as simple as like, okay, well, I like music that has to be played on an electric guitar and I don't have an electric guitar. That doesn't mean that you can't do riffs or elements of that song or elements of that guitar part on an acoustic guitar. You just have to be willing to concede certain things, right? Concessions are a part of life and they are a mandatory part of life, no matter what you're doing. The smallest obstacles will find their way in the easiest task. But again, some things can be worked through and other things are concessions in life. We have to tackle them when they come back around, when we have another opportunity to do so. So, all that to say, you can't find the perfect teacher, but what you can do is supplement the things around you. So learn what you can, do what you can, and then use your spare time to just gain that extra knowledge, the stuff that you're not getting. You feel like, I don't know what so and such is, then there's your moment right there. Go learn that shit. In the meantime, you have me. I will show you all the tricks. Excuse me. I will show you all the tricks. I'm gonna show you all the tricks, and then I break my microphone. Alright, let's close this out with this song that I don't really like at all. I don't listen to it anymore. I think it's a decent song, but hold on. Oh, yeah, okay. We're good. I don't listen to this song for any kind of like joy, the way I would have, or anything. I'm not on that with that, but this is a classic when it comes to the drop D tuning, okay, and the open chords and the rhythm guitar. You know, I love all these things. You know, I love the drop D tuning and the open chords and the rhythm guitar. So of course I'm going to show you this song, because who doesn't love a song that everybody loves aside from me? Just kidding. I mean, I got my moments. I was just talking about Wonderwall. I was like, Wonderwall is a wonderful song. There's a reason I keep typing wonderful instead of Wonderwall when I want to look that up. Drop D tuning. 6th string. It's called the E string. It's an E. Okay? The note is E. We went ape talking about the 4th string. It's called the D string. What we are trying to do, okay, is detune the top string to make it into the note D. So my methodology for this is that I take my thumb and my index finger and I pinch the top string and I pinch the 4th string and I slowly twist that tuning peg closest to me, this one, simultaneously plucking both strings until the top string and the 4th string are one. You now have unlocked the magical powers of 0, 0, 0. The song that I was alluding to is not Aerials by System of a Down. The song that I was talking about was actually Everlong by Foo Fighters. It starts like this. I'm not telling you to make a bar chord, but I might be. My hand ends up barring it anyway. you too can unlock this power of barring the guitar on accident. It's in second nature to me now. I don't have a choice. And I like it that way. So if you want to be able to do that, keep paying attention. Keep tuning in. Keep joining the lives. We love having you here, and I want to teach you everything I know about the guitar. So, thank you. But yeah, it's involuntary at this point. I cannot help but bar the whole guitar. And I want that for everybody, because I know how much of a pain in the blank doing bar chords can be. Enough said. So yeah, Everlong. Eh? Aha, okay. This one actually starts not on a bar, but you get there very soon. Huh. You're gonna have to mute the bottom of the guitar quite a bit. I'm gonna show you exactly how this song goes down. It starts with 0, 0, 11, 0, 0, 11. And I am gonna do the pinky thing because I want to. Can you do that with your right hand? Can you go ahead and start chucking? This is one of those songs where it's 95% rhythm. I mean, it's all good and dandy if you can learn the chords that you do with your left hand. Truly. But what good is it if you cannot get the rhythm that them brothers were doing in Foo Fighters? Oh God, hold on. You know, sometimes I gotta sit. This guitar is actually huge, so we're gonna try our best. Okay, I kind of botched that a little, but you get the idea. Wrist kind of hurting, but you get the idea nonetheless. That's everybody's favorite song, part 2. You'd think that Wonderwall was everybody's favorite song, but I think Everlong by Foo Fighters is everybody's favorite song. So, yeah. So, okay, by the way, if you get the wrist, if you get the jiggles in your wrist, then give it a break. Give it a break. Do this one. Do that one. Do that one. Yeah. Take a break. Chill. as he grabs the guitar again, literally ready to just play again. I mean, I just said, take a break, chill. I immediately grab my own guitar and just start trying to go again. Okay. So be it, man. Sometimes you just want to keep playing. Can we do that? Can we put our ring finger on the 11th fret of the D string? Can we take our right hand and start strumming a little? Can we plant our index finger on the 9 and 9 of the 6 and 5 strings? Can we do that? The 6th and 5th strings? Can we play it the same amount of times that we did 0, 0, 11 for, so like this? Can we slide this exact position, 9, 9, 11 to 7, sorry, 5, 5, 7? Can we do that? Because that's what you got to do. You got to go 5, 5, 7, 9, 9, 11. Pretty fun. For all my brothers who love to use the ring finger instead of the pinky, I'll do that like this for you guys too. Yeah, that's gonna be ever long. Now, what I gotta stop doing is leaving lessons half done to the point that I know them. Now, what I will tell you is that, again, it's all rhythm based. So let's keep going. Let's keep this going. You saw the first part, okay? It goes like this. Pretty simple. Do the partial bar with the index finger on the 9, 9. Swing that up to 5, 5, 7. Very briefly, don't stick around here forever. That is a repetitive verse where he squeals and whatever he does. Okay, he croons. He does something. There's a word to describe it, but he does that. The part of interest to you is going to be both this pre-chorus and the chorus. I'm gonna tell you this. You are 2/3 of the way done with this song, because we just played the verse, and you're gonna learn this whole pre-chorus part. The chorus is the easiest part of the song. You've already put your guitar in drop D tuning, okay? The hard part's already done for you. I'm gonna say that again with emphasis. You've already put your guitar in drop D tuning, so the hard part is already done for you. You have 2/3 of this song in the bag, and I'll tell you exactly why.
I just taught you the verse, and the verse repeats quite a bit. The pre-chorus is something we will work on right now. The chorus is so daggone easy. Whoa. Watch this. This is the chorus, guys. It's a power chord on 2/4, okay? 5th string, 4th string, power chord on 2/4. That's the 2nd fret of the 5th string and the 4th fret of the 4th string. The way these brothers play it, they go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You can go down, down, up, up. It doesn't matter. All right, you want to go. What is that second chord? It's such an easy chord, man. It's 5, 5, 5. You've now unlocked the power of 5, 5, 5. Can you take your index finger or your middle finger, hell, even your ring finger? Can you just bar the top 3 strings? If you really need to do this, you can do one of these numbers. I don't recommend it, honestly. I'm sure if I say don't do that, then some other guy or gal will have a cow if they see you doing that. That being said, it's no skin off my back, brother. So, look, this is what we got. The chorus is very, very, it's interesting. Remember, it's a power chord at 2/4. The next one's 5, 5, 5. Just hitting the top 3 strings. What is that third chord? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. It's 0, 0, 0, everybody. Oh my god. It's 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0 has made an appearance in the chat. And my god, is it a timely appearance, because 0, 0, 0 fits in perfectly right here. Watch this. First chord is 2/4. It's so easy. It's too easy. What are we even doing here? What? And then the fourth chord, 4, 4, 4. You telling me that 4, 4, 4 is something that's been giving people problems? No way. Watch this. You telling me people can't do this? Come on now. Come on now. Like that's achievable, right? It's more than achievable. It's a good guitar riff. Thank you, Foo Fighters. I know I was doing something resembling hating in the beginning, but not my favorite band, but the song is good. It's everybody's favorite song. All right, I promised you the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus, everybody. Also a really nice part. Now, it employs something called muted strumming. Muted strumming is the practice of deliberately making sure something does not ring out. So if I could have you at home take your index finger and your pinky, please, the pinky. It's controversial, I know, but just the pinky. This isn't that hard. I want you to make sure that the top string rings out. And what you want to do is put your index finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string. You want to skip the 4th string entirely. We'll come back to that in a second, but now I want you to put your pinky or your ring on the 6th fret of the 6th string, the 6th fret of the 3rd string. So remember, you're going 5th string, skip the 4th string, 3rd string pinky. Now, what becomes of the muted string, right? You are muting it. You are absolutely using the power of your index finger, truly the power of your index finger. And you're saying, not today. You are putting up the finger version of a firewall. And saying, this is not coming through. This bottom string, by the way, nothing. When done correctly, and this is tough, beginners, cover your ears, close your eyes. When done correctly, these 2 strings should... You get the idea. Those 2 strings that you're muting, deliberately making sure that they do not ring out, you will make sure that they don't ring out. Otherwise, your muted chord is going to sound mutated. Let me try to play the song correctly real quick. You will possibly have a hard time with that part. This is also something called a concession that one must make. Just because we breeze through part 1 and part 3, and we promised that we'd come back to part 2 because it's a little more to digest, it's a concession that we have to be willing to make. If you can't do the first muted strum, you will have a very hard time moving that up and down the fretboard. I can show you again. But we're still going to do it. And we're still going to learn it because repetition is your friend, especially when it comes to songs like this. I have a firm belief that if beginners can attempt this song and songs like it and really give their devotion to breaking it into the 3 parts that we kind of talked about, this verse, this insane pre-chorus for the beginner, I would say, and then a very easy, shall I say, affordable chorus. Affordable. Ergonomic, even. It's a good chorus because it's easy to play. So, what are we left with here, right? What I'm left with is a pre-chorus, that little muted strum part. It's fair. It's hard to do, but we'll get through it. Just because you can't do it today doesn't mean you're not going to get to it eventually. Repetition is your friend. Consistency is your friend. So I'm going to play that again for you without dropping the microphone. Into the easy chorus, 2/4. Bada bing, bada boom. You now know everybody's favorite song, Everlong. It's not so hard, is it? You might have to spend some time getting that whole muted strum pattern down. Wait, okay, you know what? See, I did the thing again. I'm not even done yet, guys. Keep your guitar in your hands. Hold on. Hold on. I showed you one position. Now, it will take you time to figure out how to mute the strings. Strings. That's fine. Before I leave you, 4-6. Okay. 5-7. 7-9. 9-11. 10-12. 9-11. Take time. This is still difficult for me even at my grand old age. So, take it one strum at a time, please. Alright, y'all. It's been long enough. Cannot make it another 14-hour night or whatever it's been. And, yeah, I gotta tap out here. It's been more than a pleasure. I have all of the joy in the world to be able to teach people how to do this, and we're only just getting started. So thank you for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you. We hope you have a great weekend. A lot of streams, dude. A lot of streams, a lot of hours. If you add up those hours without a calculator, can anyone even do that anymore? But check it out, skillcircuit.org, private instructions. We can get you where you want to be. We can figure out how to get you how you need to be. Kick.com/theskillcircuit. We have live lessons, trying for every night. As long as I have the time and the ability, I'm here. So let's get into it. Go to skillcircuit.org, sign up for the private lessons, because I can't possibly just mind read and know what people want to learn. Now, if I have this encyclopedia brain of everything I want to teach, again, I need people to help me focus this laser, and that attention can come to you. So you guys know where to find me somehow, some way. I'm going to be here. You guys can reach out to me, and let's keep making progress, guys. Let's keep doing the right thing, and see you guys tomorrow. This is the Skill Circuit. We are out. That's interesting.